Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The List. This is The List, brought to you by Mouse Talk. I'm your host, Walt Gover, and I'm joined at the table this week by my co-host, Melissa Gover.
Hey everyone.
And welcome back, folks, to another episode. And I'll tell you, when you talk about the good life, it definitely is when you talk about some of the restaurants that we're going to be talking about in this week's episode. We're going to be counting down our top favorite table service meals at Walt Disney World. Now, a little precursor to this, just want to let you guys know that we were going to do 10, and then we thought 10 was too many. And then we were going to do 5, and we thought 5 was too little. So we kind of compromised, and we're going to give our top 7 table services around Walt Disney World. And this lucky number 7. Now, I want to let you guys know that it's going to include just to give you a little rundown of what we're going to include. It's going to include all the parks. It's going to include possibly resort table services and downtown Disney or Disney Spring table services. So just want to let you guys know that. We're looking at the things that we're looking at. We're looking at, first, of course, the menu, the quality of the food. We're looking at the theming or the atmosphere. And last but, of course, not least, we're looking at the value of what you get for what you pay for. Mm-hmm. So those are kind of the things we're looking into. Obviously, just real fast to let you guys know, we're only going to be going over, obviously, restaurants that we've eaten at. So there may be ones that don't make the list that might make your list, and maybe that's because we just haven't eaten there. Mm-hmm. But we're really excited about it. We really didn't have to think too hard about this. When it came down to our top 7, we pretty much agree on all of them except for maybe 2, mm-hmm. I guess, right?
For the most part.
Yep, for the most part. So let's get right into it, and we'll start with number 7. Melissa, what's number 7 on our list?
We chose Teppan-Edo, which is in Epcot in Japan. They serve both lunch and dinner, mm-hmm. and price range is between $15 and $30 per person. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing the Disney dining plan, it is 1 table service credit per person.
Right. Now, I know that for us, this was the first time we had ever... Well, tell them what it is exactly.
It's a hibachi grill. And
right.
They cook the food in front of you, food of your choice. Mm-hmm. You would choose between your choice of meat or seafood or vegetables. Mm-hmm. And they will also saute rice in front of you and yep. some vegetables.
Yeah.
And you'll sit at a U-shaped table, and you will be joined by other families.
Yeah. It seats up to 10 to 12.
Yeah, something like that. So
yep.
You're not ever going to really ever be sitting by yourself, so take that into consideration. But it's a lot of fun, and the chefs are very interactive with you.
Very.
And make it a lot of fun, and that's really the highlight of it for me. I think that was especially being our first experience. I know there are hibachi grills all over the place, but I really thought they were much more interactive and fun and into it than maybe some of the local ones that you have near home.
Right. Now, menu-wise, they have everything from your filet. They have chicken. You can do combos of steak and chicken. You can do chicken and shrimp, steak and shrimp. It's really a great atmosphere. We loved it. Again, like Melissa said, not to get into too much detail, but the chef himself is very interactive with you. They have a lot of personality, and they make it fun.
Yeah.
They really, really do. And I think for the value of what you pay, whether it's 1 table service or $15 to $30, I think it's worth it. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it made the list for us. I think it's a really nice place to eat.
Right.
We did dinner. We didn't do lunch. No, it was an early dinner, but it was a dinner. Mm-hmm. But we really did enjoy it. So
lunch and dinner, just so you know, are generally the same.
Basically,
there is no difference in the menu. It's just a matter of what you prefer for time of day.
Yep. So that was our number 7. Melissa, what's number 6?
This one is T-Rex, which is located in Disney Springs.
Yep.
They're also open for lunch and dinner, and price range for them is also $15 to $30 per person, and 1 table service credit if you use the Disney dining plan.
Yep. Now, this is one of the ones where Melissa and I kind of differed on. T-Rex made my list. It didn't make her list. So this is where we kind of compromised and put it on the list together and kind of made us go to 7. I really like T-Rex. I think it's one of the atmosphere. Yes, it's similar to a Rainforest Cafe, but it's also different. Melissa, tell them why it was different.
They have different dining rooms that have different themes, and that in that sense, I like it better than Rainforest Cafe.
Right.
One's like themed of the Ice Age, and just it's a really fun place atmosphere-wise. I think the reason I didn't choose them is I think of them more as a chain, and you can go there anywhere. I don't think of it as Disney T-Rex. I don't know why.
Right.
And I guess you could say that about a lot of the restaurants, but for some reason they're your normal fare that you could get at most restaurants near home. And I guess that's why. But for some people, they might like that. Something that's a little similar and not off the wall. So no, I don't dislike this restaurant. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy it.
Yeah. And what I like about it, too, is for me, it's a little bit different than Rainforest because it has a wide variety for a menu. I mean, they have everything from stuffed chicken to rotisserie chicken to strip to pastas like lasagna. They have seafood. They have fried shrimp. They have all kinds of different things. They have all kinds of different stuff on the menu that we saw. We have the regular burgers if you want burgers too. Salads and soup. Appetizers, you name it, they have it. But we really enjoyed the atmosphere and really enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite places to go.
It's fun.
It is.
It is fun.
It is. It really is. If you're in Disney Springs and you don't want to spend the real big money at a Morimoto Asia or a Boathouse or something like that, I think this is the place.
It's much more kid-friendly, too. So if you have younger kids, I mean, it is a really fun place to eat. So definitely give it a try if you haven't.
Yeah, I think you should. Check it out. What's number 5, Melissa?
We chose Liberty Tree Tavern. And this is in Magic Kingdom in Liberty Square.
Yep.
They are open for lunch and dinner. And it's a little different for their price range. For lunchtime, it's $15 to $30 per person. But for dinner, it goes up to $30 to $60 per person. It is one table service credit on the Disney dining plan. And
we did dinner.
We did dinner personally. And the reason it changes, for lunch, it has normal like salads, sandwiches, but dinner time is a whole different thing. It's basically
it's
buffet.
It's a Patriots platter. It's called.
Right. It's family style serving where they're going to bring giant bowls and platters of all your yummy. I tend to think of Thanksgiving-y type foods. You're going to get the mashed potatoes, the gravy, the stuffing, macaroni and cheese, and you're going to get roasted meats like turkey, pot roast, and sliced tavern ham, almost like a roast pork. And it's all very good. It's just a nice atmosphere. It's kind of old world, like colonial style.
Colonial style is the theming inside. Yeah, really nice there in that respect. What I liked about it is the food was very good. It was, even though it was served in big bunches like that, big bowls, it was warm, it was hot, it was fresh. At least the 2 times, we've gone twice. And both times we went, it was very fresh and very tasty. We did enjoy it. The waitresses and the waiters are, like Melissa said, dressed in colonial fare. They were wonderful. Both times we had our waitresses. They were great. Had a great time there. I will say this. It can be a little bit of a wait there. Even with a reservation. We saw that. We waited almost an hour.
Yeah, one time we did. I don't think the next time we had to wait quite as long, but they definitely got a little behind. I know they did some renovations there recently.
Right.
We have not been back since that's been done, so maybe that's changed a little bit. I don't know if they updated their computer systems. I know that was one of the issues, I think, when we went before, so maybe that's changed. You also get a salad at the beginning of the meal and
everybody
a dessert.
Does, right.
So you get all of that included in that price, and a drink, I think, as far as like soda, water, tea.
Punch.
Obviously,
yeah, they have punch,
They have
too.
other beverages that you pay extra for, but as far as what comes with the meal, I think you do get the basics.
Yeah. And it's well worth. I mean, to me, it's $30 to $60 per person. Might seem a tad pricey for what you're getting.
But it's also all you can eat.
But it is. That's exactly right. They'll keep bringing it. Yep.
Refills for whatever you like most. So if you're a big eater, you can get, a lot of food for the money. It may be well worth it. But I think the experience altogether, it's a nice family place to eat. Kind of brings you together with having to share the food, almost like a Thanksgiving dinner. I always think if we go down there for Thanksgiving,
that's where you'd want to eat. Yeah, I agree. It really is a good place to eat, folks. But again, it's one of these, and we'll preface all of these by saying, if you want to eat at these places, folks, make sure you reserve as far out in advance as you can. Because no matter which one of these is on the list, or even ones that might be on the list you might want to try, they can tend to be hard to get. So make sure you do that. So what's number 4, Melissa?
We chose Via Napoli, which is in Italy in Epcot. Again, open for lunch and dinner. Price range $15 to $30 per person. And one table service credit on the Disney dining plan. This is nice if you like Italian and you don't want a super stuffy, you want a more relaxed atmosphere. It's good for kids. They have 3 giant pizza ovens that are
stone ovens
that are very, very cool to look at. They're and the shapes look like mouths, open wide, where they put the pizzas in, and you can get many, many different options, from just the regular everyday pepperoni to things like eggplant and artichokes and all kinds of crazy toppings as well as a few choices like certain types of lasagna. I think it's not the regular lasagna. It's like a white lasagna with spinach and ricotta and bechamel. And they also have the candeli that Walt likes. It's almost like a lasagna, but it's a tube pasta that's stuffed with sausage and meatballs and mozzarella. Very tasty. So
yeah, they have a good wide range of Italian food. But I tell you, I've gone both ways. Like Melissa said, I had the candela, and then I also had the pizza. You're not going to go wrong either way. Their pizza is really fantastic.
It's good.
We really enjoyed it. The atmosphere, it's really nice. I will say this, it can tend to be busy.
It is busy.
It is busy, a lot of running around, a lot of moving parts per se. But it really has the vibe of Italian. The folks, everybody, well, and I'm sure everyone knows this, in any of the restaurants, the folks that work there are from those countries.
In Epcot.
Yep, in Epcot. So it's really nice there in that respect. But we enjoy this place. We really did.
We've been there twice for dinner as well.
And for me, I think this is one of the better values on the list. For $15 to $30 for what you get in the service, I really enjoyed it.
I do too.
It's one of my favorite places. It was my number 2 on my list when we did we each did our own individual. For me, it was number 2. But I really enjoy Via Napoli. This is one of the best places to eat in Epcot, in my opinion. It's not the best, and we'll get to that. But I definitely think it's high up there. And we've eaten at several places. Not all, but several. All right, Melissa, what's number 3?
We chose Ohana, which is open for breakfast and dinner. And this is actually over at the Polynesian Resort. So it is Disney property, but it's not at one of the theme parks or Disney Springs.
Right.
Now, their price range for breakfast is $15 to $30 per person, but for dinner, it's $30 to $60, and it's one table service credit on the Disney dining plan.
Now, we did breakfast.
Yes.
And breakfast is a character breakfast.
Yes.
To let you guys know. And it's a really nice character breakfast. It's Lilo and Stitch and friends. Lilo, Stitch, Mickey, Pluto, those guys come around. It's really a great time.
Yeah, they definitely interact with you, took the time. They actually had a photographer come around to the table to take pictures with Stitch, which was nice, so you could get a family picture together, and if you have the memory maker, just to put it right on your band. So that was great. They do a little conga line around the restaurant with the kids. Once the breakfast is coming to an end, and it was just a really fun experience. Nice to see the Polynesian Resort. You don't get to see a lot of the resorts when you go, so again, it's fun to see the other places. But give yourself time when you have to get to another resort to have a dinner reservation or some kind of meal reservation. If you're coming from a park or coming from your hotel, it could be a little tricky, so make sure you plan in advance.
Right. Now, the one thing I'll say about the theming of this place is it's really spot on. The theming is kind of like a South Pacific type theming. Everybody's dressed in the Hawaiian shirts. They have their leis, around their necks. Mickey and those guys all come in with their Hawaiian shirts and their leis. And it really is, the theming is just fantastic. Of course, it goes hand in hand with the Polynesian Resort in and of itself. But it really is nice. And the food was really, really nice. Now, again, it was along the same lines as Liberty Tree, where it came out in more like a family style, where it was like one big bowl that had sausage and eggs and bacon and home fries and breads
and potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes.
And they had a basket of like pastry breads, which were good, and this fabulous juice. They told me what it was, but I couldn't begin to tell you. It was a mix of some kind of tropical fruits that were unusual, something you don't have every day, but very, very good.
Yeah, the food was really
wonderful.
Good. Yeah, it was. And the quality of the food, it was very tasty.
It was hot.
Very hot when it came out. You could tell it was fresh, just made. Again, it was one of those things, when you're done, if you want more, it keeps coming.
Filling up what you like best.
It just keeps coming. They didn't rush you.
No.
Even though it was busy, it was very busy. And I think this is one of the more popular character dining events they have there. But they didn't rush us. We were able to take our time, relax, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the characters. Like Melissa said, I will say this. With the Polynesian, the thing about Disney is they do not have buses that go from resort to resort. They have buses that go from resort to Disney Springs, from your resort to the parks. But if you want to get from one resort to another resort, you have to either be in an area that has the monorail or something like that, more close, closer to like the Magic Kingdom area. Because if you're staying at Animal Kingdom like we did and we had to get to the Polynesian, we literally had to take the bus to Magic Kingdom, and then from Magic Kingdom we took the ferry over to the Polynesian.
Right.
So just give yourself time. That's all.
And make note too that it's the character dining is only for breakfast.
Only
at
for breakfast.
Ohana, if you go for dinner, it is not a character dinner.
Right.
So we can't really give an opinion on the dinner itself because we have not experienced that yet, but definitely make note of that.
Yep. And that's Ohana breakfast, character breakfast, must do. Absolutely must do. Melissa, what is number 2?
We chose Le Cellier, which is in Epcot as well in Canada. And this is open for lunch and dinner. Price range $30 to $60 per person, but it is 2 table service credits if you're using the Disney dining plan. But there's a reason for that.
Okay, so let me preface this by saying we have not eaten at Le Cellier in a very long time. But it speaks to the quality of the experience that you have that we remember it so vividly, at least I do, to the point that it would be our number 2 on our list. Le Cellier is fantastic. It's the best steak I ever had. To this day, years later, we haven't gone back because we've wanted to try other things. That's the only reason why we haven't gone back.
And because it uses, we usually have the Disney dining plan.
Right.
And when you use up 2 table service,
right,
it definitely makes you lose another table service
an
option,
opportunity,
so.
Right, an option. So that's the only reason why we haven't gone back. But we are going back with our next trip. Now, that being said, the whole atmosphere is exactly like it sounds. It's in a Le Cellier, like the cellar. It's very dark, but it's not dark in a bad way. It's very quaint. It's very cozy. It's very, I don't know what other word to use, but it really is nice down there. It's kind of candlelit at the table. I remember it vividly. I had the filet mignon. It was out of this world. Juicy, tender, cut. It almost was like butter, cutting through butter.
And keep in mind, we order our steaks medium well. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but for it to be that good, when you cook it, I mean, we're not well done, but medium well, that's pretty close. And have it be that delicious, they're doing something right.
Yeah. And again, most of the menu is going to be that of the steak variety. It's going to be more the meat variety. They do have a little bit of other stuff, too. Yeah,
they'll have some salmon and some chicken options for those people. They even have bison.
Ribs.
Yeah, so they do have some other options, but they're basically known for their steaks. They do have French onion. No, was it the French onion soup? They have there, or am I imagining that? I think, no, it's the beer and cheddar soup.
Yes.
That's the one I'm thinking of. That just sounds delicious, which I haven't tried yet. So
yeah, and they also have the loaded mashed potatoes, and they have the smoked macaroni and cheese as sides you can get. They and desserts. They have
and they have the poutine, which is known from Canada. So that's something you might want to try there too.
Yeah.
Some specialty poutines while you're there as well.
So it's definitely a fantastic place to eat. Is it pricey? Yes, it is. But this restaurant is highly regarded. It has won numerous awards through the Orlando Sentinel and other reviews down in the Florida area. It wins many different reviews and many different awards. I highly recommend this place as a place to eat. Just remember, though, it is going to be a little bit of a dent to the pocket. But it's one that we would highly recommend. And that, again, is over at Epcot, like you said it, right? Canada Pavilion, right? Okay. So with that is going to lead us to our number 1 top table service meal in Walt Disney World. And Melissa, what is it?
We chose Be Our Guest, which is in the Magic Kingdom. It now serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 1 table service credit for the Disney dining plan. For breakfast and lunch, you're actually going to look at about less than $15 per person. They actually consider breakfast and lunch as a quick service option.
Yes,
it changes to table service for dinner, and we've eaten there for dinner twice in our trips to Disney. And dinner is $15 to $30 per person, which we think is very reasonable for everything you're going to get. I think the main reason we chose this place too is just the total package in terms of food, atmosphere, and character experience. So I'll let you talk a little bit more about that.
Well, I'll kind of give you just an idea of give you a view of what you experience when you go here. First and foremost, when you walk into the place, they have the stained glass window of Beauty and the Beast, and of them two when they got married, and it's a really beautiful place, and it's a good photo op. Real nice place you could take a photo. And then you walk in, you have the 2 pillars of the gargoyles as you're walking in. And then when you walk in, you walk right into the ballroom. And the ballroom is spectacular. It's just like the ballroom from the movie.
Yeah.
They have the huge gold chandelier coming down. And up on the wall, you see the angels, the baby angels on the ceiling. And then over on the other end, on the far end of the ballroom, is the glass windows looking out to the forest. And it's snowing outside, so it really looks like you're looking out into the forest.
That's so cool.
From Beast Castle. So it's really nice. And then as you go in, they have 2 other rooms. They have the library off to the right. And inside the library, there's a nice ceramic piece, I guess you can say, of the Beast and Belle dancing. And it circles, it turns. And inside they have all kinds of pictures kind of telling the story of Beauty and the Beast in the library. And then off to the left, they have the West Wing. And, of course, the West Wing is the room that you're prohibited from going in, forbidden to go into, correct. And when you go in there, it's dark, and there's lightning, and there's thunder, and you see the picture of the prince, and it has the claws through it. And when the lightning goes off, it changes from the prince to the beast, which is really cool. And, of course, the shades are all ripped, and over in the corner, you have the rose.
Under the glass.
Under the glass. And if you look at the rose long enough, you'll see one of the petals fall from the rose. It's really an incredible atmosphere inside this place. And what's really nice about the dinner, and we'll get to the food in just a second, but just to tell you about this is why we like it so much, is during dinner, the host is introduced to you. So during your dinner, they introduce the host, and the Beast comes out, and he bows to you, and he goes into each room, and they introduce him into each room, and he just walks through for a minute. But what's really nice about it is after your dinner, he has a sitting room area where you can actually go and have a photo opportunity with the Beast.
Yep.
And it's included
with your meal.
And it's really wonderful.
It is.
A lot of attention to detail. They have also the armory area, and when you go through the armory, you have to listen to the armory because they're talking inside the armor. Yeah, like there's people inside there. That's really neat too. Really, really well done. As for the food, when you first sit at your table, your napkin is in the shape of the rose, of the red rose, which is really nice. So it's definitely theming and atmosphere are second to none. Now, as for menu,
we enjoy this very much too. They have a wonderful strip steak. And the guys in our family here seem to really enjoy that.
Loved it.
Our youngest son really likes the pan-seared chicken breast. I've tried the ratatouille, which is a great vegetarian option. Very good. We went the last trip, my mom came with us and got the sautéed shrimp and scallops. Everything we've tried has been delicious, including the gray stuff, because that's a dessert.
Yeah, that's one of the desserts. And tell them how the desserts are brought to you.
Oh, there's this wonderful little cart that's rolled to your table with the glass top, and they'll roll it back. You can look through the glass and choose. Most of it's just like little eclairs and cupcakes and cream puffs, but it's just enough to give you that little yummy bite for dessert at the end of your meal. Get a nice cup of coffee, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really great place to eat.
And the reason why this is number one is because of all this, with the atmosphere and with the food. We think it's well worth the price that you're paying for what you get. The only downside to be our guest is the... what's the word? The demand, the availability. That's the perfect word for it. Is we booked this 180 days out, the exact day we could, and we almost didn't get it.
We had it like an 8:30 dinner because it's in such high demand. You cannot wait. If you know you have a trip coming up, as soon as you're available to make your dining reservation, call. Don't even bother to go on the website. Call the 800 number, WDW Disney Dine or whatever that is. Make your reservation. Yeah, you definitely need to, folks, because this place is in such high demand. And I think that's part of the reason why they've gone from not just dinner and lunch to adding breakfast as well, is to kind of ease some of that demand. Right. Lunch and breakfast are not characters. Dinner is really technically not a character dinner either, but the Beast does make an appearance and you can get your picture taken with him. But he does not come table to table, just to let you know. But that is our number one. Be our guest. That's our 7. That's our top 7 table services in Walt Disney World. That's our list. What's your list? Let us know. In the comments below, let us know if you agree with us or if you have one that you've experienced and thought it was great. We'd love to hear from you guys. But that is going to do it for this
episode of The List. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. We enjoyed bringing it to you. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.